Now, top tip, when you're out and about with your dogs, when should you put them on a lead? Now, obviously we've got a lead on her, so all we need to do when we want to get her back is just pick up that line. I'm actually going to choose to let it go again right now, but pick up that line when I want her. And I love that when I'm at the stage where this is really important. What I don't want to do, and I can do this because she's got a good recall. Brave, come here. Good girl, I know, hello you. Pick up a lead and she's done. And that's what she associates her recall with. Off you go, you can go. And she's like, I don't want to go, she's tired. Brave, that is a long walk for Brave, because for Brave, we have to be a little bit careful with her exercise since her back injury. Now, what I'd much prefer to do is pop my dog on the lead way before I need to pop them on lead, but don't do it as a recall. So the way that you tend to do it, and you can swap from one lead to the other. What is this I've got in here? Let's have a look. I've got a couple more bits. You can swap from one lead to the other like that. So you can go from that lead to that lead without them even being aware, if you need to have them on the type of lead where you've got a handle on it, or knowing that she doesn't need to be on lead at all. I'm going to let you go back off again. Or you just decide, what's that? I'm going to empty my pouch. We're all out. We're all out. You just decide when is appropriate to pop them on. So you're going to pop them on there and then not make too big a deal of it. So it's not a big deal. And it's definitely not at the same space on each walk. And this used to really get me in trouble with one of my late dogs, Bella. She would absolutely know when she'd got around 2 rounds of the park. So you'd walk 2 rounds of the park and I'd see my dear dad sat on a bench, like patting his leg and trying to call him over. And she was like, absolutely not, Alan Langman. You are so not going to trap me on that one. I know exactly what you're going to do. And you know what they do when they come like within grasp of you, but you can't actually grab their collar? Now, obviously, you're not going to get into that space because you've done loads of collar grab, you've done loads of middle, you've done loads of the games. But the practicality, and that's what this lesson's about, the practicality of actually being able to walk your dog is another thing. And yeah, of course, you've played the games and you've had a go at them in your garden and you've taken them to the car park and you've done them at the pet store and you've done them in your neighbour's garden or yard, or if you're in America, some of those cool mega spaces that you've got access to that we've seen. You've got some amazing spaces, and please do upload those for us and do show us you playing games, because they're really helpful to help us teach others that these games really work. But ultimately, when you do get out and about on a walk, sometimes it's, when do I call them? When do I put them back on lead? And how does that work? Well, what I don't want him to associate is that I call his name, I put him on lead, the walk is over. That's really not what I want. So for him, what I would really like is I call his name, I bring him back, he gets his food and off he goes again. That's really how I want it to look. When I want to take him home, my best thing to do is just scatter some food, clip his collar on, and then we're done. That for me is a much better way to play, and that's a much better way to end his session, end his game, rather than pair it with a recall. So I hope you understand that. I hope that makes it really clear. It's not going to be call the dog's name, feed and put them on lead. It's going to be call the dog's name, hold the collar, feed, clip the lead on, clip the lead off, let them go again. Or it's going to be bring them in for some food, let them scatter, clip him on lead, and then off you go home. So you're just going to really try and mess around with that a little bit. So for example, now we are going home, but actually if you weren't going home, off you go, you'd let him go again. You'd let him go again. So you don't need to make it too predictable. That's really...